Hello, this is Irene with SaugaTalk. I'd like to welcome today one of my bosses in the past, because I was privileged enough for work in Matt Berry's organization some time ago at IBM. And I'm extremely pleased to have Matt Berry today here with me. Matt, say hi.
Hello, thank you very much.
Absolutely. And the reason I was reaching out to Matt and asking him to take part in SaugaTalks, because to me, he's an expert with absolutely undeniable corporate career accomplishments in IBM, being worldwide leader, many different parts of the business. And I was again privileged enough to work for Matt at some point in my career. But now Matt is doing something even more exciting, to my opinion. He is a founder of Conversion Marketing, which is new agency that does, I don't know what this agency doesn't do. So Matt, I'll summarize the company as personalized branding and marketing and digital marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
And to me today, it's absolutely a wonderful time to spend with Matt, because I want to hear about digital marketing realities. We're going to talk about trends in general that we see in the industry, but most importantly, how those trends are changing in front of our eyes in the time of pandemics, in the time of businesses still working, businesses is producing for their clients, and some businesses experiencing extremely rough times. But at the same time, I want to hear the opinion from someone like Matt Berry about what's the observations right now, what are the trends, where we're going with all this. So Matt, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Irene. And you said some very nice things there. I always had a pleasure working with you at IBM. So it's great being here. But yeah, we're seeing a number of trends that have really been kicked off for the last year or so, maybe even longer, that we were seeing come to fruition in 2020. We still see holding true through the pandemic and the crisis. Maybe there's a bit of a new reality spin on some of that. And I could give you an example. There's been a lot of talk about account-based marketing, ABM. And we've been on that path for a while at Conversion Marketing, because a lot of what we do is help our clients identify the right target audience and what is the right content to help to shape their opinions in the right direction, and how do you execute campaigns and measure it. And the more targeted you could be, the better on budgets, in terms of results. And so I think now with COVID-19, it's all the more reason that companies have to be very careful with what they're communicating, to whom, at what time. And so it's just put like a microscope on ABM in terms of really ensuring you're honing the right message for the right business at the right time. And in some cases, we're saying to our clients, now isn't the right time. So it's equally important to know that and understand that. And we're monitoring the situation. And, a lot of what we're doing with our clients is, looking at things on a week-to-week basis. Things are changing so rapidly. So ABM is certainly a trend that's been underway for a while, but we see now accelerating given the pandemic and how companies need to be very careful about their budgets.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. So what else is happening out there? So social media marketing, we all learn, everyone in their own kind of seat, right? Understanding the new reality, because marketing doesn't exist without LinkedIn anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be FaceTime, now everyone on LinkedIn. I mean, this is like new era. I'm finding it with my channel now. Okay, so are you actually advising your clients? I mean, what's the strategies around social media marketing now? Because they're all changing year to year.
Yeah, definitely. So we do a lot of work with our clients around social media. And a lot of what we do is helping experts really figure out what they are expert in, and focusing on that, and not trying to be someone who could necessarily talk on tons of different topics, but how do you build your true expertise, we call social eminence, in a particular area where if someone's going online and looking for a topic, and it could be very specific, that you start to show up in those searches. And so it's a matter of really figuring out what you're expert in, and then, developing a point of view and great content that supports that, and being consistent with it. And a lot of our clients, they get discouraged in the beginning. They have small followings, but we help them to identify what are the right groups. I mean, you mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great for identifying really specific groups where people are looking for very specific information. And we're seeing, you know, those social experts excelling much more than generalists.
Not surprising, not surprising. So I'm learning it's all about your niche. I'm learning about really, right, getting person to person kind of content if you can. But there are ways, of course, to automate and to scale, I'm sure, right, in the campaigns, the work you're doing. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's something that we're constantly looking at, and it's you know, we're using all different types of tools to identify where are the right conversations happening, who's having them, and to your point, it's become much more of a one-on-one dialogue, and that goes, you know, not just for social media, but like we were talking about account-based marketing. Now it's really like individual-based marketing, because even in, you know, take Bank of America for example. It's hard to just come up with a persona for the, you know, an HR or a technology person at Bank of America. Each individual is so different, and knowing their preferences and where they're getting their information, who they trust, are all really important factors.
Absolutely. You mentioned data sources. You know, I'm speaking with terrific speakers over here, and I invite everyone, by the way. So this is plug-in for SaugaTalks. So please watch more business and tech conversations here, because some of the cool entrepreneurs I'm speaking with, so with latest companies that do exactly that. So Causality Link, the company I spoke last week with, so they're doing processing 40,000 different documents and data sources to come up with coronavirus impact, okay, economical markets, capital markets impact. All I'm saying is technology is out there, all right, and new companies just looking for new data and just digesting that data in a way that's valuable to their clients. So Matt, on your part, on digital marketing side, what is the data source kind of hub that you find the most useful right now? Because again, we read industry news, we read what pandemics news. So is it somehow related to your client work?
Absolutely. So at Conversion Marketing, you know, we decided early on, we're in our third year, but early on decided we're not going to be a technology company and build a technology stack. We're really great at content development, running campaigns. And so one of the other trends I was going to talk about that fits in here is around strategic partnerships with other agencies. And so we're seeing this model of a lot of smaller agencies working with each other to build a solution for the client. It comes from our IBM heritage of IBM was always about building solutions from lots of different parts of IBM. Now I'm playing a lot of that same role of working with other partners in the space we're talking about. For example, one's called Intelligent Demand, another is called Octane 11, and they have made the investments to build really robust technology stacks for marketing to understand everything from intent-based marketing. So what is an individual searching for? And, you know, you start to see correlations with maybe there's 5 or 6 people from Bank of America all searching for business process management solutions. And you could start to make some connections there to really analyzing social media and sentiment and things like that. Both of the partners that I mentioned are really great at integrating that and providing simple dashboards that someone on business side, someone in marketing could look at and understand and see what's going on. Where is the most traffic coming to your website from? Even down to individual emails. And these are the people that are spending more than 2 or 3 minutes on a certain web page. It's been pretty amazing over the 3 years since we launched Conversion Marketing to see how far that technology has come. And now you're really, you're behind if you're not using data to make decisions and to run campaigns and to improve things over time.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and collaboration is all over the place now. So I know on YouTube, you have to collaborate with other creators. Okay, I'm doing it little by little. This channel is very new. So again, thank you so much for taking part. But point is, collaboration is everything, cross-pollination. And right now in this world, it's funny enough, people act less as a competitors, more as a colleagues across the company lines. Okay,
Definitely.
that's terrific, right?
I've been blown away by, you know, I've met a lot of CEOs and founders of other small agencies that are doing different things. Mm-hmm. And I've been really shocked by how open the community is in general of wanting to partner and looking for the right pieces of the puzzle. And it goes back to being very specific about what you're expert at, because I'm finding having a conversation with one of my peers and saying, well, we do everything in digital marketing isn't helpful. It's like we're all trying to put these puzzles together with the best pieces and best solutions for our clients. So that's great. And then also on the strategic alliance front, another trend we're seeing is a lot of the big B2B tech companies are investing more and embracing more of a strategic alliance, strategic partnership model when it comes to marketing and running co-marketing campaigns. MDF, market development funds, being mutual contributions from two companies, say Google and Microsoft, running a campaign together where they're both funding it, they're both vested in the success, looking closely at the outcomes, but we're seeing a lot more of that happening, and it's largely the same reason. How could we put the best solution together for our clients, whether that's a small agency or the Microsoft, Cisco's, and NetApps of the world?
That's fantastic. You know what? Because of course, let's move to the new world we're in and still consider the marketing trends we're seeing, okay, applying to new reality that we all, of course, feel, we all live in it. And from my observation, again, it's all about localization, a lot of efforts, right? We're seeing it in social level, political, cultural right now, lots of conversation local to your town, local to your state, so on and so forth. At the same time, across the lines, right, we still want to connect and work globally and do things together. So what's your point of view, Matt, how digital marketing is affected now in terms of that everyone is really thinking what's important, right? At family level, company level, country level.
Yeah.
Right? So,
no,
yeah.
it's true. And this is where you need to be really careful with any kind of marketing activities now, because if you don't pay attention to what people are dealing with, like you said, locally, globally, it could really be felt the wrong way. And so where it actually goes well into another trend we're seeing a lot more traditional PR, public relations work, where it's working with media, with analysts, and a lot of building that public perception that in this time of need, especially companies that are doing good things to contribute to society. And it's not about then taking advantage of that and getting a story in the New York Times about it, but it's how do you ensure that what you're doing as a company aligns to who you are as a company? And a lot of what we talk about is purpose-driven campaigns or purpose-driven marketing. And there are companies like Patagonia that have been doing this for years, it's escaping my mind, the sock company that for every pair they sell, they give one to the homeless. And there's companies that have been doing these types of good things for society for a long time. But now with the current pandemic, you're seeing companies across so many different industries. I mean, automakers that are making masks, companies that are doing amazing things to step up into the spotlight. And again, this doesn't necessarily have to be something you go out and publicize, but it starts to represent what your brand is all about. And I think as you think about the companies that you see in your local community and also at the global scale, people are paying a lot of attention right now to what are you doing to help.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you know what? With all the drama going on right now, let me put it this way: I see a lot of hope and a lot of growth in companies who are thinking about ahead. When this is all over, and we're all kind of in the same situation, right? How the world is going to change. So Matt, what do you think is going to happen in marketing world and in business world in general, once we can breathe again and kind of be ourselves again?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and you're absolutely right, this is what companies are thinking about right now. Even if I can't run a marketing campaign today, when the time is right, what should that campaign look like? And a lot of it comes back to that purpose-driven element of it, where now the world has changed. It's never going to go back to the normal that we used to know. You're going to have to be more sensitive with the messaging that you have and more targeted than ever. So a lot of the basic principles of marketing again, it's just going to be a hyper focus on it in terms of the right messaging, the right time to the right person, and knowing, you know, when A, that right time is, B, being ready for it, and C, you know, knowing that you're reaching someone that is going to be receptive to your message. If there's even a chance that you're going to be turning someone off by marketing to them, you know, the backlash is way worse than any, you know, results that you're going to be able to generate.
Yep. So to me, you know, it's kind of new reality in the way that fluff that did not work in the past will go away. Okay, things that we used to do kind of certain way because we always done them. You know, this is the time to realize again where I am in this new world. You know, and this is kind of great.
Yeah.
Because right. Mm-hmm.
And some of it is being driven by budgets. You know, listen, companies are hurting right now. They have to pull back on their marketing budgets. And I think as they start to free up more budget, to your point, they're going to be very careful about what they're funding, what they're doing. There's not going to be room for that fluff. Everything is really going to have a purpose, and goes back to being expert at something. And it's going to be, what do companies stand for, and what makes them different than the rest.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm speaking with a lot of young people, and we used to think that people in mid-career or, you know, close to retirement, they're the most vulnerable population in any kind of turmoil, in any kind of economic changes. I'm finding that young people, educated people with great degrees and great pedigrees, okay, as frustrated as the rest of population. So, Matt, can you comment, please, on those who want to start career now? They have to start career, right? Because in 10 years, we're going to rely on them, right? Running businesses and doing great stuff, right? So what do you see there happening with the younger educated populations that just need kind of helping hand in starting? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, from a marketing perspective, when I'm talking to younger people or people in general who are looking to get into marketing and don't know where to begin or what area, I always like to point them in the direction of developing content marketing. You know, my perspective is that's at the heart of everything we do. And so you'll have an opportunity then to see how campaigns are executed, how social media interactions play from that content. And so if you could develop great content and that's what you build your expertise in, I say there'll always be a job for you. There's people that, you know, need good storytellers, need people that could really develop interesting content. I'm not talking about, you know, like we were talking about fluff, a lot of content that's just put out there and filling websites, really meaningful content, things that people read and you give them new ideas and perspectives on. Part of it is I come from my background and my education. I was an English major in college, and I thought I was going to become a journalist. And that journalistic style has always stuck with me. And so I have a great appreciation for, you know, people who have that skill and the storytelling ability. And it's an opportunity to be creative. So a lot of young people, when they're not sure where they want to go in marketing, you know, having a creative element is often helpful.
Absolutely, totally. You know, I'm acquiring new skills as we speak, because I take a lot of classes on how to become a YouTuber. Okay, and the point that I'm learning, it's about consistency. It's about put yourself out there. Don't hide. You know, we all have our weaknesses, but we all have our strengths, right? And the more you do, you better you become, and more confident you get over time. So to me, this is a message to everyone who is thinking about starting the career when situation improves in the country and in the world, which will happen, I hope soon. Yep. So my message there, it's don't waste any time right now. You know, take classes, start creating, put things out there. Don't you think?
Yeah. And to build on that, the most important thing is, and you said, you know, get better at it over time. It's about being real. People don't want to see a heavily scripted video. You know, they really want to get to know who you are. Now, in your case, they're going to learn about you through the interviews that you do with different people. But when it comes down to it, it's, you know, they want to know who you are. And so if you're having a bad day, sometimes it's okay to say that. Not everything has to be so polished. And that's been a big change in marketing, I think, as well, going from, you know, videos that have to be overly produced to just, you know, the things I watch most are when it's someone being vulnerable and real and telling it like it is, you know, talking about failures. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, exactly. So, speaking of failures, Matt, okay, what do you see that companies, people, or you are not doing right now? Okay, meaning that, yeah, but what is it that we can learn from? Mhm.
Well, during the crisis in particular, I still see, both on social media and in my inbox, companies that you think that they don't even know what's going on in the world around them, and just continuing to market and message their products and services in a vacuum. And it's very off-putting. And I don't want to name names, but there's 2 or 3 people on my LinkedIn network in particular who I've been surprised from day one has not altered the message, just continues to talk about their products and services. And to me, it just shows such a disconnection from people, not even what's going on in the world, but what people care about. Empathy is at the heart of what we do in marketing, and there's no empathy there.
I hear you. I hear you. So again, message to all our audience out there is be real. This is time to get real. This is time to find yourself if you don't know who you are. But at the same time, you have a lot of friends left and right and collaborators who are going to help you to find yourself, right? If you're not sure. So, but this is terrific. And that's what we're doing here. That's why these talks, not scripted, these talks, just exchanging opinions with very interesting people to my taste.
Yep.
So Matt, that's fantastic that you're here today. So with that, I want to hear from you on entrepreneurship level, because after many years, many successful accomplishments and projects, even I was part of, okay, you've chosen to change your life. So talk to us about entrepreneurship part of in your journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more than I thought I was signing up for. I had never owned my own business before. And so after working for IBM for 15 years, a big part of it was leaving. I knew I didn't want to go work for another large company. And we, yourself included, over our IBM careers, had the opportunity to work with a lot of different agencies. And I used to say, this agency was great for one thing, but then I would have to throw it over to another agency and they did something else. And the answer isn't just a big agency that could do everything. That's typically expensive, big offices. But how do you start to build an agency and a network of agencies that could deliver everything that I wanted at IBM as a client? So that was a big part of why. And then going out and doing it, I had no idea all the different pieces that it takes to run a business and be an entrepreneur. And like you, I took a lot of time to learn, both from people who have done it, and I still speak to, people who are mentors to me, who have been through it and either failed, succeeded, both, and get a lot of advice from them. And, I looked to hire great people around me. And that's something I learned at IBM is, building a great team and how impactful that could be. So from day one, I put my focus on the team and finding the right people, a lot of former IBMers who are actually part of the team. And a lot of that came from because I know that they know kind of the standards that we had at IBM, and we have the same standards with our clients. But I did things like I outsourced all of my HR and payroll to a company to help offload all that. That was advice I had gotten from someone, that if you're going to be paying attention every week to who's getting paid and how that works and benefits. So I found a local company that does this for small businesses. And now I had no HR issues, and I've got an HR department that handles it. So it's really making smart decisions like that of where you're good, what your core skills are, and finding experts to help in some of the other areas. And I try to stick to that. Most of what I do day in and day out is working with my clients on marketing. And that's what I love doing. That's what I'm good at. I trust, bookkeeping and accounting to other people. On my team, there's people that are great at social media, better than I am. How do I lean on them? We came from a world at IBM where we had like unlimited resources in terms of team members. So how do you ensure that the team that you build around you, you've got the right skills, you've got the right people that can roll up their sleeves and get it done, have the right mentality, and then just charge ahead and don't look back.
That's fantastic attitude. That is wonderful attitude. And I hear from other entrepreneurs I'm speaking with is that in this exact environment, relationship with clients, because every business built around the clients, right? Small business, big business. So relationship with clients is not getting any weaker. if anything, like you said before, if you're doing it right, if you're relevant to what client is going through, if anything, we'll come out stronger with stronger relationship with people who will trust us with their businesses going forward, don't you think?
Oh, I talked about the marketing part of my job. What you said, that's the most important thing that I do day in and day out. The other 10% of communicating with my clients, ensuring that we're on the same page. They know all my clients are sick of me talking about transparency, because I want them to know, whether it's from a budget perspective, they're running over budget, or maybe they're under budget, to a program or campaign isn't performing the way that we hoped it is, or it's doing even better, and I want to let you know. But I'm on a texting and phone call relationship with all of my clients. They know they could reach me any time of day, on the weekends. Luckily, they don't do that too often, because we really have a mutual respect for each other's personal time. And that's another big piece of it with my team and with our clients, ensuring that we can live our lives outside of work. It's one of the reasons that I did decide to leave IBM. I found it challenging at a lot of times to balance, everything I needed to do in my life outside of IBM with the workload and travel. I still, well, before the pandemic, was still traveling, fairly extensively, but now I could make my own schedule much more than I was able to in the past.
Absolutely. And isn't it very inspiring story, Matt? Okay. What I heard from you is that it's possible to start in any place in your life or any place in your career, because I would say someone who spent 15 years managing large team, managing large initiatives would not want to go small. And yet there's so many benefits just to be probably your own boss. Not so bad, isn't it?
Definitely. No, absolutely. And I got a great experience at IBM. I always say I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for IBM. And I mean that, from a skills, experience perspective. And, I did have some involvement in running large businesses, budgets, headcount, things like that. But it's totally different when it's, your own business, and, everything's got to be looked at very carefully, and decisions have to be made every day. That's something that, I had to get used to in the beginning of, you need to make decisions one way or another. Owning your own business, it's not something where you could put things off and procrastinate. A lot of decisions just need to be made on the spot, pretty much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Matt, this is fantastic. We went all the way from trends, we went to what's important to companies and clients now, and all the way through careers to entrepreneurship. So Matt, this is fantastic. I want to say thank you so very much for taking this time from your busy entrepreneurial day. Okay, and I wish all the success. So let's continue collaborating, because we're all what, colleagues and potential partners at some point. So Matt, best of luck to conversion marketing, to all the colleagues who may know me, who may not know me out there. But the important part, that it's a new world we're stepping into, and it's going to be great.
Yep. Thank you for having me on, and I love what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Matt, so much. Best of luck.